Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another TMDSAS application workshop. My name is Brianna Beats. I am the Senior Applicant Liaison and Resource Developer for TMDSAS.
Hi everyone, I'm Ellie Kim. I'm an application specialist here at TMDSAS.
And we are here today to do a little bit of an application preview, and we're going to talk about some updates, what's new to the entry year 2026 application, as well as open it up to some questions at the end. So we'll just dive in, and if you have some questions, go ahead and type them into the chat, and we'll get to those just a little bit later. So we're going to highlight some important changes, show you where to find your most helpful resources when filling out the application, which opens May 1st. We're so close. And just going to go through some tips and navigation process of all of the TMDSAS resources. All right. So for those of you who may be unfamiliar with TMDSAS, TMDSAS is the centralized application service for the Texas public medical, dental, veterinary, and podiatry schools. So we're the primary application service that streamlines that application process for all of the institutions that we serve, our member institutions. So we have 21 participating institutions between dental, medical, podiatry, and veterinary schools in Texas. If you are familiar with our website, or perhaps you're unfamiliar with our website, tmdsas.com, you can visit our homepage and you'll see the tab up top that says Explore, and then you can see member institutions there. Click on that and discover more information about all of the schools, all of the TMDSAS schools. All right, so I'm going to talk about our most vital resource, which is the application guide. This guide serves as a comprehensive roadmap for the application process. So inside of it, you will see step-by-step instructions that correspond to each section of the application, as well as some resource links to helpful articles and videos, and just other information that you're going to want to access while you fill out your application. And if you click on the, you can see it on our homepage if you scroll down, but you can also click on Apply Now and see it listed as the first option there, Application Guide. So what are the benefits of this application guide? You're going to feel more prepared and have all the accurate, complete information for applying. We actually recommend that you get familiar with the application guide before even going in to fill out your application. It's available now. You can go through and read through the sections. Give yourself some time because there's a lot of information there. So just get familiar with that resource. And yeah, there are insights there into what the school admissions committees expect. So it will be your most helpful companion as you go through the TMDSAS application. Other resources here, like I mentioned, our website, the application guide, which you can access from the website. We have these workshops, ongoing workshops on the Texas Health Education Service YouTube channel. And that QR code will take you there, but you're here now, so you can probably figure it out that way too. There are previous live streams about different subject topics, such as residency, coursework, more detailed presentations, and there are some panel conversations talking to the dental schools, talking to some of the medical school admissions committee. So definitely go check out those previous live streams that remain as recorded videos, as well as check out the next few workshops we'll have. For the next 2 weeks, we'll have regular workshops coming up. As far as support while you're going through your application, the internal messaging system within the application portal, after you log in, create an account, and access that application portal, you'll see your option to message TMDSAS. So that is the official communications, preferred communications with TMDSAS. The TMDSAS office hours will begin a little bit later into the cycle, probably towards the end of May. We'll be releasing some content to answer questions that come up during the cycle. All right, so let's talk about the dates and deadlines for this year. If you are applying to an early decision program, the deadline this year is August 1st. August 15th then would be your deadline for your supporting documents, as early decision programs are requiring transcripts, letters, test scores. So that's only for early decision program. Everyone else, our regular deadline for dental and medical programs is October 1st. That is the official submission deadline for the TMDSAS application. That means that October 15th is your deadline for letters of evaluation. They should be uploaded or postmarked by this date. And within the application guide, you will see the second section there, deadlines. That's where you'll find a mass list of all of the different program deadlines. So if you're unsure, definitely keep tabs on your timeline by visiting that section. All right, now we're just going to go through some coursework tips and procedures. Now, let me remind you, there is an entire video about coursework from last week, I believe. So if you want more detailed video on coursework, that does exist. But the biggest tip that we can get is before you submit your application, use the coursework definitions and classifications. These are found within the application guide in the coursework section. You'll see a drop down of all of the coursework areas to choose from for coding your coursework. Very important, your application will not be held back or delayed if you select the quote-unquote wrong course area. So just do your best to code your courses to your best ability. And then during the application process, the processing that happens with TMDSAS, that 2 to 4 week period after you've submitted your primary application, TMDSAS liaisons are going through that coursework just to make sure the courses are coded properly, and we may make some adjustments as needed. However, after you get that email that your application has been transmitted to the schools that you're applying to, log back into the application portal and check out your prescribed coursework report, also known as the PCR. This PCR document will let you know if you have any deficiencies to your prerequisite course hours, required courses. And on this image here on the right-hand side is giving you just a little snapshot of what the PCR document will look like. It'll list those hours deficient. Just note that if you have planned coursework, any coursework you have yet to receive a grade for, those hours will show as deficient until you input a grade when the grades become available. So just something to keep in mind as how to read this document. All right. And like I said, the deficiencies, those don't prevent you if you have some coursework variation. So those deficiencies won't prevent your application from being processed and sent to the schools, or will it prevent you from being reviewed by the admissions committees? But it is important that you monitor your application to become aware of those deficiencies early. And if there's any discrepancies, where you have a course that you believe should count toward the requirements, meets the requirements based on the course definitions, then you can message TMDSAS in the IMs in the application portal. And if you have a deficiency on that PCR, you are eligible to submit a course appeal. Okay, coursework and GPA updates for this entry year 2026. New updates to that PCR document I was just talking about. So that's where your prerequisite coursework is kind of collected in one document for you to view, as well as the schools. And we've added a new section to that PCR document for communications type courses. So that section will house all speech and communication courses. However, fulfilling the communications requirement section, it's only required for specific schools. So just be sure to review the school-specific requirements located on the TMDSAS website. And we've added some new information there for GPA calculation for the last 45 hours GPA. And that GPA calculation will be used for the veterinary school's review process. All right, I'm going to turn it on over here to Ellie.
Thank you, Brianna. I'm going to walk you through some important information about submitting your letters of evaluation and what to expect during the process timeline. Whether you're applying to medical, dental, or veterinary school, this is a key part of your application, so let's dive in. So there are three main ways to submit letters of evaluation to TMDSAS. First one is direct upload. So evaluators can upload letters directly through the evaluator portal. And we have evaluation form. So this evaluation form offers a holistic view of applicants' readiness by addressing key attributes such as academic strengths, professionalism, empathy, resilience, community and engagement, and this evaluation form can be submitted through the evaluator portal as well. And you can also submit your letters through Inofolio. We also accept letters through Inofolio, but please note that it takes a little longer to process since it's a third-party service. Now let's talk about the types of letters we accept. First, you can submit 3 individual letters and you have the option to include 1 extra letter if you like. And if you're a dental applicant, at least one of your letters must come from a dentist. And don't forget, each letter must include applicant's name, the evaluator's letterhead, contact information, and a date as well as signature on the letter. We also accept H packet or committee letters, which are submitted through the advisor portal. And just like with individual letters, dental applicants still need 1 letter from a dentist included in the packet. And yes, you may still submit 1 additional letter with your H pack if you like. And there's one important reminder: if you are submitting an HPAC committee letter, make sure to release your information to your advisor in the college's attendance questions section. Otherwise, your advisor won't be able to upload your packet. Now let's look at the processing timeline. And direct upload letters take up to 10 business days to process. And Inofolio submissions can take up to 14 business days. And evaluation forms are the fastest, so they are approved immediately and become instantly available to schools. However, please be sure to discuss with your evaluators with which delivery methods they would prefer before completing your letters of evaluation section. And if your letter got rejected and it needs to be resubmitted, and it will go back into the processing queue just like a new submission. So there are a few important reminders for y'all. And first, the letters of evaluation section must be completed before any letters are submitted. And you can submit your application before your letters have been received. And once a letter is approved, it's typically visible to schools overnight, so there is no need to follow up the moment it's uploaded. And finally, don't miss the deadlines. So August 29th is the deadline for veterinary applicants, and October 15th is the deadline to submit letters for medical and dental applicants. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about submitting and tracking your letters of evaluation. I hope this clears up the process, and if you still have questions, you can just stick around and we'll be answering your questions at the end of the session. Now I will hand it over to Brianna to take us into the next topic.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, so now we can talk about residency. Just our basics here, what to keep in mind. Again, there is an entire video that goes more detailed into residency and the residency process, which you can find on our YouTube channel. So your state residency, this is more specific for Texas residents, right? The residency determination process, that only occurs once an application has been submitted. Once you fill out that section, submit your application, then that section is reviewed by a liaison. Keep in mind that the system makes an initial determination. However, the individual TMDSAS liaisons are going through your application, through all of your information for the official determination there. So TMDSAS cannot advise someone on how to obtain Texas residency, nor can they make determinations prior to reviewing your application. So keep that in mind. That information has to be filled out in the application and reviewed by a liaison for that determination. And TMDSAS is confirming your Texas residency based on the Texas Education Code, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board rules for establishing residency. There is a link to those rules within the application guide in the residency section. You will see that link if you would like to go through those official rules from Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. So the timeline infographic here on the side, very important to keep in mind that the dates we are talking about for that 12 months prior to the application deadline. So application deadline this year is October 1st, counting 12 months back from that deadline. And that's the time frame we're looking at confirming that you have established and maintained your Texas residency. And after you submit your application and your liaison is going through your information, that liaison might request some residency documents for review. Sometimes the application portal, depending on how the questions are answered within your application for the residency section, sometimes you may be prompted to upload documents at the time of submission, sometimes not. So don't worry if not. Your liaison may reach out to you either requesting clarification on some information or requests, which makes it super important that you check your messages and correspond with TMDSAS. Monitor your application as you may receive those requests for additional documents or clarifications from your liaison. So we recommend that you're checking your application portal and emails at least once a week, especially up until that time frame where you have received your congratulations email when your application is transmitted to the schools. So definitely keep in contact with TMDSAS as we may be requesting information from you. Some additional time-sensitive requirements, talking about secondary applications, right? You'll want to monitor your email as the schools may be reaching out to you after your primary TMDSAS application has been transmitted to the schools. They will be reaching out to you with links to their secondary applications. You'll want to log back into the TMDSAS application portal to check on the status of your letters and scores. Have your scores been properly released in your application? The status of your letters, make sure those letters are received and approved, and your Casper scores and Casper scores I think are separate from us, but either way, you're wanting to monitor all of your supplementary time-sensitive requirements, because you don't want any surprises to find out you have a letter that was rejected because it was missing a signature or something like that. Okay, something new this year that we'd really like to highlight for you now is an addition to our policies. There is a policy page on the TMDSAS website, as well as this statement being included within the applicant user agreement. The applicant user agreement is something that you are going to sign off on when completing your application, saying that you've read all of the policies that pertain to applicants. So the most important policy update that we'd like to highlight for you here, and this is coming from the TMDSAS school deans. There is a statement on AI assistance, and while these tools are commonly used in the writing process, all final responses submitted through TMDSAS must be your own work and reflect your original thoughts, voice, and intent. The use of AI tools or other resources during an interview is also strictly prohibited. You are responsible for reviewing and approving everything you submit, and the expectation is that your responses are accurate, truthful, and representative of your individual work. So this will be a clause within the user agreement that is additional this year. You'll see that you will sign off on, as well as our other agreements and policies. All right, a few other additional updates and information for you here. There's been an update to the first generation definition. This pertains to a question asked about whether you're a first generation undergraduate student. The definition has been updated to reflect a student who is the first member of their nuclear family to attend a college or university, and neither of their biological or adoptive parents has completed an associate's degree or beyond. There's also a new question for all applicants who are currently not enrolled in school. So if you, once you select to the question, are you currently enrolled? And if you select no, then this text box pops up and it'll just ask you in what activities or experiences are you currently involved in. Just another chance for you to let the schools know what you're doing. What you're involved in, what experiences or activities. And then specific to our dental applicants, just a little updated information to help you with the dental experience section, especially in regards to thinking about, do I list this activity or experience under dental experience or healthcare? It can be confusing for applicants. So just wanted to provide some additional clarification coming straight from the dental schools. So dental experience should include any experiences that were done with a licensed dentist. And I have in my notes here either TMOM or shadowing in an office or community screening as examples. And then in the healthcare section, only include activities that may have been done outside of the dental experience. So, for example, volunteering at a hospital. It's important to note that many dental students may only have dental experiences, and that's okay. It's okay to leave the healthcare section blank or put in N/A if it's not applicable. Other events, such as going to elementary school to talk about oral health or passing out toothbrushes at food bank, experiences like that should go under community service. All right, I think that is it. We've arrived at the end. Those were all of our slides. So now we can open it up to some questions. If anyone has a question for us out there, fire away. Ooh, do you want to take this one, Ellie?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of, I can take it for sure. So this is one of the questions we get asked every cycle.
Ooh, Ellie, your mic is still squeaking just a little bit.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear better now?
I can hear you, but it's a bit squeaky.
All right. Could you tackle this question while
yes,
I'm figuring things out? All right. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so how early should you apply? The answer to that question really is when you're prepared and ready to apply is the best time to apply. However, folks apply early, starting May 15th through, medical students early July. Like that is considered like submitting early still, as those admissions committee members are going through applications and sending out invites throughout that time. That is considered early, but as long as you're prepared and have everything lined up, considering when your application is complete for an admissions committee, when are your scores being released, you can submit to TMDSAS starting May 15th. But then it's a matter of, how long until your MCAT scores are released and your letters are received. Just considering your own timeline and what works for you. But most importantly is just having a thorough, fully completed application to the best of your abilities. All right, Adib has asked, just making sure we are putting coursework in letter grades, but we are not calculating our GPA. Yes, correct. You're inputting your coursework information for each individual course under each individual semester at each individual university you've attended. TMDSAS calculates hundreds of GPAs. There's a lot of different GPA calculations, and that is automatic within the TMDSAS system. So you're just inputting your course information and your grades. Great question. Should I wait to apply until I have all of my letters and test scores? Ellie, do you want to jump in?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you can submit your application without letters and test scores, but you will have to complete your letters of evaluation section with all evaluators information as well as test score for test dates, your AMC ID or DAT ID, and then you will be able to submit your application. And those letters and test scores can be submitted later. So once we receive your letters and then gets approved, it typically takes overnight for the schools to see your letters, and same for test scores. So once you release your test score to TMDSAS, it typically takes about 24 to 36 hours until we receive your score. And then once we receive it, the schools have access to your test score almost immediately as well.
Awesome. Are there any Texas residency requirements or advantages for in-state applicants applying through TMDSAS? So if you are a Texas resident, and you grew up here, went to high school here, went to college here, the residency section will be pretty straightforward for you as you answer those questions. Basically, the Texas residency information becomes important when considering the match. So the TMDSAS match for medical schools. There is the 90-10 rule, and so the 90% class admission for these Texas schools, those spots are reserved for Texas residents. So that is where that factors in, residency factors into the situation.
How many medical schools can I apply to? So through TMDSAS, you can apply medical schools up to 14 medical schools. So whether you just apply for one school or all the 14 schools, we have a flat fee of $230 for this cycle. So it's up to you. If you are only interested in just one school, just go for it. But if you feel like you would like to get a chance to apply all the schools and then see from there, then you're welcome to apply to all the 14 medical schools.
Yeah, and it's important to note that TMDSAS has a flat fee. So the flat fee is $230, and you are applying to as many schools, TMDSAS schools, as you select. All right, awesome. I think that was our last question. If anyone else has additional questions, please reach out via email to TMDSAS. You can email info@tmdsas.com. Thank you guys for being here today, and that's all for us. Bye.
Bye all.